Forgotten Sunrise, Chapter 16, Guest Suite. Sunset took pictures and video of the restricted section, and sent them to Sunny as soon as they were back up on the main floor. It wasn't too long before she got quite the enthusiastic reply.
I'm not sure it'll be possible to ask Sprout to work any faster, but as soon as the truck and trailer are ready, I'll be up there. And we'll take a day or two to look at what you've uncovered before we continue up to the Arctic. Thank you so much.
Sunset, of course, felt it prudence to temper her expectations.
There's not nearly as much here as you might think, and what is here will have to be studied very, very carefully. It was down there for a reason. Take it from some pony who poked and prodded where she shouldn't have.
Something extra came out of the restricted section with them. Sunset's old trunk, popping into existence onto the floor with a unicorn and Pegasus. Incredible, Whirlwind commented, adjusting his glasses as he looked at the trunk that they had brought back up with them.
It's probably a good idea to put that picture back up on the wall and keep this corridor cordoned off until Sunny Star Scout can get here and take a look at what else is down there,
Pip advised the curator. Whirlwind nodded as he momentarily moved the velvet rope so the princess and unicorn could pass.
Thank you again for letting us do this. I just got a little piece of my past,
Sunset told Whirlwind with a half bow. My pleasure, Miss Shimmer. If you'd allow it, it would be our pleasure to attempt to restore that trunk. I can have our best antique restorers make it look good as new, if you'd like, Whirlwind replied, before replacing the velvet rope.
If your team feels up for the challenge, sure,
Sunset replied, opening the lid and removing the laminated letter along with the encased and framed diploma, holding them in her magic and pushing the trunk over to Whirlwind. We'll treat it with the utmost care, you have my word, Whirlwind reassured her. Carefully holding the items she had just found, she and Pip made their way out of the museum, where her one remaining escort was waiting. Together, they continued their trek to the castle. Now that she wasn't leading a hot pursuit, Sunset took the time to take in her surroundings. It didn't look anything like the Canterlot of old, and the castle was at the very top of the mountain, instead of built into the side and the valley, like the rest of the mountain. She couldn't help but wonder how damaged the city became in the unrest and riots before the unicorn ran and the Pegasi began to rebuild. They went up the elevator and down the main concourse towards the towering double doors. The guards stood at attention as they approached, and when they opened, Sunset wasn't met with a dozen spears inches from her body this time. Welcome home, Princess Pip, and, welcome back, Miss... The sergeant at the door greeted, trailing off.
Sansa Shimmer.
The unicorn introduced herself.
Sergeant, please show Sunset to the guest suite where her personal effects were taken,
Pip said, and the guard gave a quick salute.
I'll let you get settled in and relax for a bit. I'll come get you for dinner, then if you'd like, you can hang around for my evening stream. Thanks, Pip. I'm gonna enjoy unwinding here for a little bit,
Sunset replied, nodding with a smile. The sergeant beckoned her towards the right hallway, and she followed down the corridor. They came to another elevator and took it up 3 floors. This is one of our finest guest suites, ma'am. We hope you enjoy your stay, the guard told her, evidently well rehearsed. He swiped a keycard through the electronic lock, then passed it to her when the door lock clicked open. I know Princess Pip is expecting you for dinner, but if you get hungry later on, all of our amenities are provided by phone. Just look for the list of numbers on the nightstand. Have a pleasant afternoon, Miss Sunset, the guard told her, departing after a short bow, and the door to the suite swung closed, leaving Sunset alone in what was certainly the most lavish room she had ever stayed in. Even her quarters in the old castle barely compared. The bed was queen-sized and exquisitely made. There was a big screen TV on the opposite wall, digital thermostat on the wall by the bathroom, a round dining table in the corner, a combination heater air conditioner built into the wall below the window, a nightstand next to the bed with a lamp, and lastly, the guitar case, camping supplies, and everything else she had brought with her in the cart. They were neatly stacked next to the dresser below the TV. There was currently plenty of natural light coming in from the window, so there was no need to switch on any lights at the moment. She sat down on the bed and looked at the items on the stand. A wireless charger for smartphones and a pamphlet. Picking up the pamphlet, she saw that the front of it was a spectacular photo of the city. Opening the front flap, she saw that there were quite a few advertisements and phone numbers for room service. She glanced down the list, and the first thing to catch her eye was the concierge.
New to town? We can help.
Laying back and resting her head on the soft plush pillow, she unlocked her phone, grabbed the stack of sticky notes along with a pen, and dialed the number. A ringtone pulsed several times before the other side picked up.
Zephyr Heights Royal Tower Concierge. How may we help you today?
Greeted a friendly mare's voice.
Yes, hello. What would you say is the best music shop in town?
Chapter 17. Strings. Sunset figured she'd have plenty of time to check out a music store in town before dinner. But then again, she also figured she wouldn't get turned around 5 times trying to find her way back out of the castle.
Maybe I should have taken a break from all those phone numbers and glanced at a map. Or directory.
She mumbled to herself. She stepped off of the elevator, making sure her guitar case was still secure on her back. She put the keycard-attached lanyard around her neck after being advised to do so by a guard as she departed, so she could quickly be identified as a castle guest. As she stepped off of the elevator onto the ground floor, she realized another thing she would have to get used to. Her ears popping, as the Royal Tower, or Zephyr Heights Castle, or whatever they were calling it, was considerably higher than Canterlot used to be. What with the Pegasi having constructed additions to the city considerably higher up the mountain. She craned her neck a few times to help equalize the pressure, and get her balance back to normal as she started down the street towards downtown. While her castle suite reminded her of her days as Celestia's protege, the streets of Zephyr Heights felt leagues closer to the Mirror World than almost anything in Maritime Bay, with the exception of the Canterlogic factory. She saw a few unicorns and earth ponies on their own routes through the shopping district as they saw the sights. And a few minutes later, she came to her destination among a slew of other stores in the strip. An instrument retailer.
Sky-high notes.
She pulled the glass and metal door open, and the speaker above gave off a short tone, letting the service counter on the right side know that a patron had arrived.
Oh, hello, and welcome to Sky-high Notes,
greeted the cashier, who was a light blue Pegasus stallion with a dark purple mane.
My name is Swift Melody. How can we help you today?
Sunset gave the stallion a smile before taking a quick look around the store. There were flutes, all manner of brass instruments, drums, keyboards, and even a few harps. However, notably absent from the shelves and wall displays were guitars.
Well, judging from what you have up on the wall, I'm assuming you don't know too much about this kind of instrument?
Sunset said, taking her guitar case off of her back, setting it gently down onto the counter between her and the cashier, and unlatched it. She lifted the top of the case up, and the cashier peered down at the sunburst-painted string instrument.
Huh. Fascinating. Like the banjos and ukulele antiques,
he commented. Sunset lit up her horn, and carefully lifted the guitar out of its case, pulled the case away, and set the instrument down on the glass.
I'm guessing Pegasi don't really play these then?
Sunset asked, letting him study the details of her guitar.
Not in my time here, no. Most Pegasi prefer keyboard or trumpets, if not going entirely digital with their music creation. The strings are strummed here like a harp, and held at various positions on the neck for different notes and chords. Huh. One has to wonder why we did move away from something like this. Certainly beautiful and solidly crafted instruments, this Gibson,
the stallion remarked.
It's an electric guitar. Gibson is the manufacturer,
Sunset commented, smiling at the compliment. Her guitar was a few years old, and she had taken very good care of it.
What an odd name,
he replied, and Sunset merely chuckled.
I was hoping to play it, but I need an amplifier and studio cable,
the unicorn told him, pointing a hoof to the underside of the guitar body. The cashier peered down and saw the jack.
Oh, well then you are in luck, ma'am. I'm not entirely sure how this instrument of yours works, but I do know that there's a standard 1/4-inch input jack. Nearly universal no matter what electronic instrument you play,
the Pegasus replied. He turned to the back wall behind the counter and took a packaged 20-foot audio cable off of the wall. He turned back to Sunset and saw the lanyard around her neck.
Oh, a VIP guest at the castle? Well, in that case, you certainly don't need to buy an amp today, miss. The castle staff can show you their music room, where there's plenty of space and privacy for you to play and practice. I would know. Sky High Notes services all of Princess Pip's performance equipment. Thanks. I think I'll do that.
Sunset replied, returning her guitar to its case as she was rung up for the cable. She paid with the bits she had in her bag and was out the door with a new cable, headed back to the castle. Now, she pondered how to best approach playing her favorite instrument for the very first time as a unicorn.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
I can imagine it would be worlds easier being a unicorn and playing an instrument like that, instead of only just hooves. But let's get on to our talented donators. Top donators are 630, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, and IronSky. Darkside, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Rolan, Stu Hex, Swordbrother, Mordred, Omicron, Lyrae, RuneSive 9852, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Wildsoul, Battiswaffle, Shadow Moon, Luigi88, Chancer Crust, Big Smother 69, Jesse Smith, Bobcat GGF, and many more amazing people. Thank you all very much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.